Hello, Elevation Health family, and happy Tuesday. So, I'm bringing you some messaging and information this morning regarding what's happening with our upcoming workshop, our True Cellular Detox workshop coming up. And it's fast approaching. So, it's going to be this Monday coming up. So, I want to share with you a little bit about what we'll be covering. If you're interested, if you've been watching some of these videos when you're in the office, pay careful attention because there's new material here that's going to pique your interest. You know, if you didn't know this, it's estimated that 98% of heavy metal detox is not effective. And I can tell you that firsthand. And 50% of it is not safe. And I'd say probably even more because I've done just about all of it in the past. So I can tell you this is true. So in this episode, I want to discuss with you what the safest and most effective methods that I've discovered are available for removing harmful and dangerous bodily toxins. So the most common sources that contribute to the daily accumulation of toxins in our bodies are first and foremost prescription and over-the-counter drugs, which most of us are on, many of us are on. You've been on not just recently, but for years or even decades. And that builds up. It's an accumulation, as well as vaccines that we may have had as children or in the past or recently, flu vaccines and things like that. Pharmaceuticals just in general, they're not natural. These are not things obviously that you find that grow out of the ground or off a vine. They're made in a laboratory. So they are toxic and, you know, it accumulates in your body and does have an effect. Herbicides, pesticides, as we talked about in the previous episode, mostly the biggest concern with that is glyphosate, which is the active ingredient, and Roundup, and is in most of what we're bringing in as far as our food chain goes. This is something that if you're not aware of, you really need to take a concern with. Lead and mercury, not just in our water sources and cosmetics, like with things like lipstick, but also amalgam fillings, which are 50% mercury. And there are many of us watching this video right now and will be attending the workshop, not just one amalgam filling, but multiple. And think about the fact that every time you brush your teeth or you have hot coffee or you get a cleaning at the dentist, it causes mercury to vaporize and leach off of that filling, which actually goes through your body and into your brain. How about the formaldehyde in our mattresses and our pillows that we put our head in and our body on every night? Or the phthalates, you know, the plastics, the cancer-causing plastic chemicals that are in the water bottles that we drink from and other plastics that we use. So these are all and can very well be causing or contributing to you not feeling well. These are all factors. And again, it's not just one day or one time. It's the accumulation of what's been happening over the past few years, past few decades. And if you've never addressed this component as far as doing a real detoxification, something that's effective, something that's safe, well, listen carefully. You know, so also, you know, many of us may not be aware of that a lot of the symptoms that we suffer from that we're still dealing with may very well be linked to our levels of toxicity, like high blood pressure, vertigo, depression, anxiety, chronic fatigue, brain fog, all characteristic of levels of toxicity that many people deal with. Insomnia, trouble sleeping, digestive issues, or constipation or diarrhea can all be signs and symptoms of toxicity. Muscle and joint pain, even weight loss resistance can very often be traceable back to high levels of toxicity. Did you know that? So first of all, in order to get well, you have to fix the cell. If you're doing detoxing your body at some level of detoxification and you're not addressing the cellular aspect of this, you're missing the biggest part. So detoxification must happen first at the cellular level. And the way that I approach it in our office is there are three components when it comes to truly detoxing the cell. And the first one is, the first step is making sure that we're addressing what we call the 5 R's. And you may have heard Dr. Pompa talk about this in other videos that you've watched. Number one is removing the source. Yes, you have to get the toxins out. There are many different sources of toxins, but they have to come out. Number two, you must regenerate the cell membrane. So when there's damage at the cellular membrane, you're shutting down the aspect of what allows all the good stuff to get in and allows the toxins to get out. we know that we have to, you're taking supplements, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, all has to pass through that cell membrane, not to mention hormones and neurotransmitters and all the aspects of the body chemistry are communicating and integrated with that cellular function at that cellular level. So if the cell membrane is damaged, that's it. All communication ceases or is muddled or the cells are deaf at best. They cannot hear what the body wants. Not to mention, there are toxins that build up inside the cells which cannot get out. They cannot escape. So that's a big problem. And what that does is it shuts down all the cellular energy. So that has to be addressed. You must restore the cellular energy if you want your energy, your health, and your life to come back. You also have to reduce cellular inflammation. And a lot of the things that we're doing on a daily basis, and not just the toxins, but also a lot of the foods that we may be eating are contributing to the inflammation at the cellular level, which again shuts the whole process down in terms of us being able to absorb nutrition and get the toxins out. And then lastly, you have to reestablish methylation, which is the function of which occurs inside the cell to get the toxins out. And so all this must be addressed and it must be supported specifically. There has to be a strategy to make sure that all these factors are being addressed. After that's addressed, you need to make sure that you're opening and supporting all of the detoxification pathways within your body. You have to strengthen the downstream and cellular pathways, the detox pathways, to support the toxin removal. You have your lymphatic system, your kidneys, your liver, your gut. All this has to be supported. And a lot of us, we have problems with those systems. They're not functioning at peak potential. You may have subluxation. They're not getting proper nerve supply. You're working on that. You're working on making sure that you're restoring your gut. You're making sure that you're supporting your kidneys, your liver. All of these things have to be addressed. They have to be in working order if you're going to be working with an effective detoxification system and program. Then after this, you can effectively remove the toxins, and not just out of your body, but making sure you're pushing them out, setting up a concentration gradient to move them out from the deeper tissues of the cells and your brain. Keyword, and your brain. That is where the magic happens. That is probably the most important part of a detoxification program, because if you're not crossing the blood-brain barrier, if you're not pulling harmful toxins out of the brain, you're missing the biggest and probably most important part of where you see the lights go on with your health, your life, and your energy. And then finally, you have to use true binders to get the toxins out. You can pull the toxins out of your brain and out of the cells and out of the body, and then it goes into the colon. And then where does it go? If you don't have real binders to pull it out of your colon, guess where it's going? Right back into the body. We call that auto intoxication. Auto intoxication. I'm sorry. My tongue is almost working. It's almost up. I'm almost awake. But we want to avoid recirculating those toxins in the body. And you have to have true binders to bind up the toxins and get them out of the colon and out of your body. And when you're doing that properly and effectively, again, you will see results. And it's one of the most commonly overlooked parts of an effective detoxification program. So if you're still not feeling well, or no, you're just not at your best, you're looking for, what else can I do? What's the next layer that I need to peel back? What's the next step on the ladder that I need to climb to get to my highest level of health? I want 2022 to be my healthiest year ever. You have to address this. You very well may be toxic. And again, the real question is not if you're toxic. The real question is, how toxic are you? So our upcoming True Cellular Detox Workshop, it's coming up this Monday, February 7th. You're going to learn how to find out your toxicity levels. There are 2 simple tests that we use. I'm going to talk about those 2 tests that we do in our office to tell you exactly how toxic you are, and then which strategy, which approach, which methodology would be appropriate for you. Everybody's different. We don't guess, we test. You're going to learn how toxins affect your hormones and also affect weight loss, and how true cellular detox, how a program like this works on somebody like me, I'll share my experience with you going through it, how it literally transformed my health and my life and what it can do for you. So you'll learn all about this and so much more at our True Cellular Detox workshops coming up Monday, February 7th at 5:45. Click the registration link found in the description box below if you're watching this online, or call our office with the number on the banner that you see below. Or if you're in the office, just walk right up to the front desk, get your name down. This is going to be a smaller, more focused work group. We're only taking the first 20 to register. So please make sure you reserve your seats now for yourself or a family member, friend, somebody that you know that needs to be here, that needs the help. Thank you for joining me this morning. I love and appreciate you. God bless.